Hello and welcome to Midnight Scribe's Creative Vibes, where we speak to the best of the bronies and discover what makes them tick. On Creative Vibes, we love to interview guests from all around the world to get insights into all sorts of unique cultures, creators, and experiences. Today, we're going to a distinctly foreign land for me, England. I've heard their chicken tikka masala is legendary. My guest tonight is an artist who's one half of the team behind Robot Octavia's Ask Tumblr and is one of the main sources in my life of good quality Sonic the Hedgehog content instead of Sega. We're delighted to welcome Mecha The Techa to the studio. Mecha, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for those kind words on the introduction. I was not expecting that.
Oh, listen, we go all out on pampering the guests. We do not hold back at all.
And where's my 5-star service? I was promised 5-star service.
I know. I'm sorry. I'll speak to the production team. We'll get it sorted out. Please don't hurt me. Please don't sue.
See that you do.
Oh God! I can tell you're a robot. You're so cold and mean.
Somebody has to be. I'm kidding.
Oh no, you're just a lovely cinnamon roll, aren't you?
When it benefits me.
Oh, I can identify with that. That is a very British answer. Well, I suppose we should talk about. I mean, you are Mecha the Techa, so by that name, basically, you are just a big ass robot painting art for the web.
Yeah, like it was this whole persona thing I thought up. I never actually I think I switched to Mecha the Techa like early last year. Around that time, I used to go by a different name at the time, but as you get older, you think that name doesn't really work. But this one, it rolls off the tongue a bit better. Mecha the Techa. Also, it rhymes a bit. And I thought, yeah, I'll stick with that, and well, it stuck.
Oh yeah, listen, it certainly it sticks out well and it sounds lovely, like you said. And hey, listen, we've all got embarrassing social media names in the past that we'd much rather forget about.
Yeah, I'd rather not go into
I know
that.
I'm trying to forget my days on MySpace. That's all I'm saying on the subject.
MySpace. Gee, that is going back. Oh, oof.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brought back some memories. Oof. Oh,
No.
oh, that hurts.
I know when you actually had to code the page yourself in order to make it look the way you wanted.
And I had no coding experience, so mine just looked like somebody had just like thrown a bunch of things onto a wall just to see what stuck.
Listen, I've turned that into a career. That is absolutely fine.
Well, fair enough then.
But well, obviously, your OC and your persona is of this robot character. And listen, anything Japan inspired works for me. So I love this. So how did you actually come up with this design for the OC and for your brand?
Ironman.
Ah,
The first Iron Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like if you notice the chest section, how it's got the light there, it's like based off the arc reactor, and I just built up from there. I gave it the whole Sonic the Hedgehog hair as a reference to the what was then a previous fan base, which I've come back to. So come full circle there. As for the whole wings thing, well, who doesn't want to fly?
oh, exactly. No, flying's awesome. I mean, I can barely walk, but I mean, I'd like to fly a bit more.
That's. And as for the red color, I'm not sure why. I think at the time red was a favorite color of mine, but it switched to blue recently. But I can't just change it from red to blue just like that. It's been red for too long. I don't want to change that.
Yeah, you're comfortable with it now. You know the paint job will cost a lot of money. Getting Renault to change it and putting new filters on. Just just stick with what you got.
Renault?
Renault? I'm sure it's Renault. Is it Renault?
No, Aston Martin.
Aston Martin, and you know what? Fair enough. Actually, that would suit you very well. I mean, I've got to be honest. A part of me was thinking, you'd be in a little hatchback somewhere in the French Riviera, but I reckon Aston Martin suits you quite well.
yeah. His Range Rover, nah.
Well, I tell you what, actually, you brought up something quite interesting there, which is you were talking about the Sonic fandom, how you were in it, you went out, you went back in. I also know you're a part of the MLP fandom as well, but you're not necessarily head first in it in the same way, and you've been a part of a few different fandoms as well. So I mean,
That's correct.
I'd be interested to learn a bit more about that because I mean, we've spoken to other artists in the show as well, particularly those who have been primarily MLP focused, and they found it perhaps hard to break out for whatever reasons, because of fan expectation, because of creativity issues, and that sort of thing. But you do artwork, for MLP, the Sonic artwork. You've done some Halo pieces, Dragon Ball, your own art. So how has that all come about?
Oh, well, in regards to the well, I guess in regards to going out with the pony fan base, it's just how things burn out over time. It was kind of like that. Like I felt like there was not really much content to create now, even with new seasons coming out. I just felt like it had run its course, so I decided let's try something different. And recently, Sonic Mania and Forces came out at the time, so that was a bit of a jump start into getting back into the Sonic based drawing. And as you may know, and people who follow me may know, I'm a big Dragon Ball fan, like huge. So it, it was good. It's good practice to try different styles as well with the Dragon Ball One, like getting feedback off of my pieces and improving upon them. Like for example, my recent Goku and Vegeta versus Jiren to how it now the Rose Goku Black looks. I don't know if you've seen them recent ones.
I don't think I have off the top of my head, but I will certainly have to check it out because I mean you're all over the place. Like I know you've got your Twitter, you've got your Tumblr, you've got your DeviantArt, and of course you're popping up in conventions every now and again as well. I mean I saw you've
Mm-hmm.
been at Brony Scott a few times, and you've been in the English conventions as well.
Indeed, indeed. With Brony Scott, however, I was able to do a bit of selling of my work, but for other conventions, I just attend them not as a vendor, although I would like to be a vendor at them. It's just a case of actually finding a place that does quality prints at a affordable price. It's oddly tricky to find around this area.
But yeah, I mean, I know what you mean in terms of finding resources for artists could be quite hard. I mean, certainly I've seen that from other artists in the fandom, rushing the last few minutes trying to get prints done, and it's always a bit of a pain trying to get it sorted out. But hopefully you'll be able to do a bit more conventions in the future because it was great seeing you at the last Brony Scott because you were there with James Cork and whatnot, and seeing your wares there was fantastic. I think I bought a couple pieces as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember meeting you there, which is which was because I remember that's when I sniped you for this interview.
You'll have to forgive me. My memory's a bit all over the place at the moment, what with multitasking and whatnot. So you have to forgive me for that one.
Oh no, listen, don't worry, I understand that entirely. And actually, speaking of multitasking, because I mean, I know you've been changing jobs recently, trying to do that, and obviously with the work you're doing as well, because you run the Robot Octavia Tumblr, you're doing your own art as well, commissions and so on, and that's quite a lot to juggle. I mean, how do you manage it?
It's quite easy when it comes to Robo Toffee. I've just organized it so I do my work over the weekend and upload on Monday, and I basically have the all the other days, Tuesday to Friday, to work on commissions or my own work or anything else that comes up. It's a good system and it's worked out for the past uh, 3 years now, I believe. Yeah, 3 years, same system.
Hey, listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the motto, eh?
Exactly, exactly. That is exactly right.
Well, I'll tell you what, talking about something even longer than 3 years, 5 years, Robot Octavia's MK5 Tumblr. You celebrated that recently. Congratulations on that.
Ah, thank you, thank you. It's you gotta give credit to the writer who is, I believe you know him as well, Sketchy Sounds.
Oh, yes, indeed. No friend of the show. Love the guy. Yeah, I mean, because this is a collaboration project the two of you have had for the last few years.
Indeed. Well, it first started out as just me on the blog, but due to some unforeseen errors and me losing the script and a whole laptop in the process, um, it kind of got improvised the first story arc about halfway, and Sketchy was kind enough to offer some help with scripting, and then I asked him later down the line, hey, how would you like to basically take my rough writing and make it better? And he agreed, and well, honestly, the blog would not have carried on were it not for his timely intervention.
Well, it's moments like that that make greatness happen, and obviously, I'm glad to see that Sketchy got involved and that the blog is still going strong after this long. Because I mean, it has done fantastically. 5 years, nearly 6,000 followers, and obviously 5 years. That's a great anniversary. And how does it feel to reflect on that and how far you've come in those few years?
It's crazy, I have to admit. Like I looked back at my first pieces of Robo Toffee when I was going through like pictures to share for the anniversary stuff, and you can tell I've come far. I don't like to toot my own horn, but I have to admit I have come far in terms of the art world, and I still see lots of room for improvement as well. Like, that's what I can take away from it.
Well, listen, don't worry about tooting your own horn in this show. This is a toot horn friendly environment. You're allowed to do it. Feel free to wax lyrical on that, because otherwise it's just me doing it. And, I can only talk about my own ego for so long before it just becomes a bit too self indulgent. I need someone else to join me.
We'll see. We'll see. It's a bit of a hard habit to break.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's that line between like self confidence and arrogance, and you never want to cross over that line. So that's
Mm,
entirely
mm.
understandable. But having said that, talking about how far you've come, I mean, and seeing how you first started and how you moved on, you've actually demonstrated that as well recently on Twitter. You showed off one of your Sonic line art pieces from 2012, and you showed one from 2017 to see how far you've come. And you've said yourself you've improved so much. What would be interesting then, rather than just allowing you to toot your own horn, is change it round a wee bit and let's just ask, like, where do you think you've improved the most, and what kind of little nuggets of wisdom have you picked up over the years that you think, no, that's valuable, I need to show everyone this nugget and it'll help them out?
I that's an interesting one. I think with regards to how far I've come is actually asking for help and following tutorials a lot more closely, especially when it comes to the asking for help bit, because I've got artist friends who shared their wisdom, I guess, with me, and it's helped me come along the way and adapt my own methods. And especially for the Psy users, don't underestimate the luminosity and multiply layers. They can work wonders when you want to do something that's effective in shading, but also really simple to do. I think that's one I can take away from there. That's one little tidbit that I use almost all the time. uh, oh gosh, that question kind of like put me on the sidelines there. I have to admit,
I know, I can't believe it. It was actually a real question. I know it was.
it was like, oh, wasn't expecting that. Oh, all right, all right. Need to recover. Need to recover. Can't recover.
Oh, don't worry. Listen, you can take a breath if need be. We can cut out all the dross in the middle, so do not worry. If you need a moment to think, take it. It is all good. Don't worry about it.
No, but that's pretty much the gist of it, though. Like, ask for help. Uh, excuse me. Ask for help. Follow tutorials, and then try and adapt your own methods from them, which is what I've done, and it's led to where I am now, really.
And it's great to have you here. And actually, look, when I was researching you and talking about how far you've come and the tools of the trade, I've noticed you've got something which I'm fairly certain isn't a real product, because I don't believe anyone would actually call something a bamboo tablet.
I've got it right here.
What is it? Is it
Wait,
actually is it made of
wait,
bamboo?
calm. Wait, no, really.
Oh, come on, it's called bamboo. You don't. There are things that should be made out of bamboo. Tablets, the Scottish Parliament, a few other places, I'm sure.
I think most of your Scottish audience will get that joke, but this thing's not really made of bamboo. It's made by Wacom Wacom, or however it's pronounced. A Wacom bamboo pen model CTL-470. I'm not sure if they're in production still though.
I know. Well, they're always changing models. Before you buy a
Gosh.
model, you walk out the store, then they've replaced it with a new one.
I'm telling you something right now. I'm looking at it with like the sun. Well, what little light there is reflecting off of it, and you can literally see my layout for Paint Tool Psi on the tablet surface. That's where my pens like run across it. And side note, by the way, these the pen nibs on these tablet pens really durable. I've only changed this nib once, and that was actually back in 2013, and it's still going strong.
Oh well, heck, it's quality for money then.
Yeah, I don't want to replace it. I dread the day it actually breaks.
So what's what's the great qualities then of that tablet? What makes it so good? Because I mean, I'm not an artist, so it's like to me, I suffer from that kind of notion of like a tablet is a tablet is a tablet, but they're not all the same. So what makes
Hmm.
this one really good for you?
Well, it's good for me because it's a decent size for starters. I can fit it nice and snugly on my desk and have my laptop here with additional extra room. The installation was really straightforward. It literally did most of it. All the thing I had to select was which hand I used, left or right. In that case, right-handed. And the interface as well. Like if I just click out of Psi, I can just click open this settings, boom, right there. It's most simplest piece of tech to have, really, and also affordable. I should mention that.
Oh, of course, listen, price always important. It's the first thing you do, like whether it's tablets, computers, bottles of wine, you look at the price and you go from there.
Hmm. Exactly right. And I've been happy with it ever since.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Well, I tell you what, turn it back to why we're here, the MLP side. I do have a couple of just regular questions that we like to ask all our guests on here. Just a couple of quick fire questions, learn a bit more about you and about the fandom as well. So, first question that we like to ask is, who's your favourite character from My Little Pony?
There. You see, that's the thing. I'm I, I already said earlier, I've not been really following the pony stuff as of late because I'm moving on to the Sonic stuff and everything, you know.
Well, in that
Uh,
case, let's change the question. Who's your favourite Sonic character?
Silver,
Really?
Silver the Hedgehog. Yeah.
And that's quite interesting actually, because I haven't seen a lot of love for Silver. I'll be honest with you. Any characters that came in from like Sonic 2006 onwards to round about Sonic Boom, there seems to be just this neververse of characters that most people just seem to throw out. So it's actually quite interesting to see someone who's actually defending Silver.
I Well, here's the thing. I literally can't even hate on Sonic 2006 either because that game is what got me back into drawing as a whole back in '06 to '07 and such.
Were you planning on
Like,
showing this? Were you planning on showing the developers how to actually design the game properly?
no, I just at the time I really enjoyed the game despite its questionable story, especially that last bit. But aside from that, I did enjoy the game, the characters, the music. Silver was my favorite character because he was so different from the other two hedgehogs in the game. Instead of going fast, it's use mind power. And basically, if you wanted me to stop drawing or not draw at all, then you'd have to prevent me from getting that game, which would involve time travel. But then got to account for paradoxes and then different alternate timelines. Hmm.
My brain's melting right now. Stop talking in these riddles.
No timelines.
Ah, oh, timelines, for goodness sake. It's not Donnie Darko. Please don't do this to me.
No, but yeah, that's well. There you go. A bit of an origin of when I started drawing. Then,
Which is absolutely
well,
great to.
restarted.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's great to see how you actually came in, actually. And actually, even more fresh, the fact that there's someone in 2018 who's an actual bona fide fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. Because after the last decade or so, there aren't many of them left, They're rarer than Bitcoin.
Indeed, that's exactly right. But I've stuck with it. Like I'm not really someone who picks apart a game. Like I just play it to enjoy it. I think there's only been one bad game, one game that I've played, and I've said this is terrible. I don't want to play this. And that was on the 360. I think it was called Over G Fighters or something. It was supposed to be like a combat fighter jet sim thing.
Oh, I know the game you're on about. My friend Doug lived and breathed that game when the 360 first came out. I think he still has a copy, and I think my partner actually, I had a discussion with him a week or two back when I was in Aberdeen, and he actually said he wanted to get a 360 to play that game.
Well,
So I'm
from
guessing.
personal experience, I really did not like that one.
Oh boy, well I'll have to pass word on and let them decide judgment because I've never really played it, so I can't say much. Flight simulator
Hmm.
games and whatnot aren't really my bag. Although heck, I'm rubbish at most games anyway, so it doesn't make much of a difference to me. But actually going back to Sonic, because words that I never thought I would actually see is favorite show Sonic Boom.
Well, it is a good show. Like the level of humor and stuff they have in there, even callbacks to the old fan base, the new fan base, and all that jazz. I love it. The humor is just great.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many. I haven't had a chance to watch the show yet, which is a shame. But I've seen bits floating around town and whatnot, and the writing does seem to be really sharp, which is amazing. Because I don't know whether people who are watching this would agree with me or not, but I do think that the quality of Sonic TV shows is consistently higher than the games they're based on.
Indeed, you're correct. The comics are also great as well. Like the new IDW, they're absolutely fantastic. Archie, well, I still enjoyed Archie despite that whole reset and the lawsuit thing and whatnot.
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah, I do think the comics and shows are more better quality, but the games are also got their quirks as well. But that's just from my experience. Like everybody's got their own opinion.
Oh, definitely. And well, like I said, I mean, it's great to see someone who's actually defending this era of Sonic, even if it is through the shows and through some of the later games and whatnot, because it's had a rough time and it's a shame. And like
Mm.
I still love the early Sonic games. I've got them on a Mega Drive, love them to bits. And it's just
Ah,
yeah, I know Mega Drive Sonic, pure
yeah,
gaming.
yeah. I've still got the cartridges myself.
Oh, good, it's not just me then.
Yeah, it's just a shame my Mega Drive no longer works. I tried to fix it to see if it worked, but it's down for the count, unfortunately.
Well, I tell you what, on that fail there on behalf of Sega, we will wrap up the interview here because that seems like a perfect point to end it on. But listen, Mecha, it has been brilliant having you on. This has been a great laugh, and I hope you've had a good time on here.
I have. It's been an experience, that's for sure. This is like one of the first interviews I've done, really. So yeah,
I know
probably not a great response or anything, but yeah.
oh, listen, like whether you like it or hate it is an experience that matters. I look forward to getting the letter from your therapist.
I no comment.
But my last question to you is, where can we send our fans to see your work? Where are you on the web?
My Tumblr, my DeviantArt, my Twitter. Yeah, those are my main three, which I share all my content on, and you can also find links to other things like a coffee page, Patreon. I think I have a. Oh gosh, I haven't used it in so long, but I think I forgot the name of it. Reddit. How can I forget Reddit? I do have a Reddit, but that yeah, let's not go with Reddit. I think there's some not safe for work stuff there, which we don't want people seeing.
Oh, no worries. Well, we'll put all the lovely safe links in the description below. So, fans, if you want to see what Mecha's up to and see what the robot's doing, that's the place to go. But we shall wrap up the episode here. My thanks to Mecha the Techa for being on the show. My thanks to you guys for watching. And if you want to get in contact with us, perhaps you're a creator who would like to be interviewed, perhaps you got constructive praise, constructive criticism, perhaps you want to construct new hair for me because this fro ain't gonna grow itself. Get in contact with us. We're all over the web. We have a Facebook, we have a Twitter, we have a Tumblr, we're on YouTube. You're watching this right now. We've got an email address, highlandbronies@hotmail.com. Get in contact with us. We would love to hear from you. But this is the point where the show must end. I know it's a sad moment. But I hope you all have a great day. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. And the final word from Midnight Scribe is, as always, please subscribe.